A long while back I made this video trying to analyze the Smash Brothers universe. But it was really messy. All I did was dive into things without giving any background or what exactly was being analyzed. So I want to revise this video with this one and actually give context. Unlike a lot of Smash fans, I've always been interested in the lore of the series, which itself stems from my interest in the crossover itself. It all started and really grew with the Subspace Emissary when I first saw it on YouTube years ago. I've always been intrigued by the world of Smash, and just thinking about how exactly all of these characters coexist together in this imaginary world. While other people watched reveal trailers and hyped over the characters and made their memes, I was always thinking about the in-universe perspective as well. Especially more so for trailers like Sephiroth's or Isabelle's. It's honestly sad because I was always the only one thinking about Smash as deeply as I do, and it was hard being in the community when everyone else only talked about movesets and characters, tournaments and clips and whatnot. Nobody really cares about it, but it's been one of the main reasons why I've been a big fan of the series. But for those that do or are at least interested in hearing so, this is that video. The goal here is analyzing what exactly the Smash universe is, and how it generally functions. Ranging from the geography, the inhabitants, and the lore of the child. Now we know that Smash, as stated numerous times by Sakurai and even by Iwata, is simply a child playing with toys. But I think there is a much deeper meaning to this statement than people pay attention to. In both Melee and Brawl they always talk about two worlds. The real world, and the fantastical world of Smash. A larger detail is how they specifically say that Master Hand is the symbolic link between the Smash world and the world beyond. There is a lot of depth in how the Smash world is explained, and I think it's clear that the Smash world is in fact its own world. I don't think the Smash world is simply just a child's imagination like say the opening of Toy Story 3, but that it's legitimately another world, influenced and created by a child's imagination. Specifically I think that the Smash world is a mental world within the child's psyche. Now by saying that I don't mean it's a real physical world that exists, it's just not entirely fictional either. It's real, but it's not real, as confusing as that sounds. Think about it like the Lego movie. The entire movie is just a kid playing with his dad's Lego figurines, but in the movie it's still a real world that exists within his imagination. In Smash it's essentially the same thing. Things that happen in the real world manifest into the Smash world as real, physical things. Including the fighters being toys, which in this world manifests itself as them being Master Hand's trophies. Master Hand himself is the man upstairs. Except in this case Master Hand is the child, or rather a manifestation of him. Master Hand is the spiritual avatar of the child's creative spirit when playing with his toys and creating all of these imaginative scenarios. And comparatively Crazy Hand is the avatar of the child's destructive spirit. Master Hand acts as the ruler of the Smash world and was likely the very first being to come into existence. He in fact created the Smash world and is its god, so to speak. As by the opening of Smash 64 we see him building the Smash world before placing, or creating, the fighters. As where in the real world all of the fighters are plushies, in this world he created all of the fighters as lifeless trophies, which, as by the opening of Smash 64, he brought to life using the snap of his fingers. This is where we dive into the Smash Brothers world itself. Its real name, as by the Subspace Emissary, is the world of trophies. Now in the Subspace Emissary they merely focus on this one particular landscape in the middle of the ocean, but the world of trophies extends far beyond this. It's not just one planet, but an entire universe, which we can see in the world of Light opening. In fact the planet we see them on is not where they all live, but the planet where they all gather. Of course as in the revealed trailers we see that the invitations are specifically sent out to their respective homeworlds, and following the received letter, they all head off in the direction of the tournament. And yes, the revealed trailers are canon in my book, and I will be mentioning them here. In the small cinematic of Melee's adventure mode, we can see that Brinstar is located right next to Planet Popstar, making Kirby and Samus neighbors. Palutena even refers to the others as worlds, and not just continents or lands. The World of Trophies universe is actually an amalgamation of all of the fighters' worlds. It's like the serververse in Space Jam 2, where every planet is a different Warner Brothers property, and they all gather to one world for the basketball game. And just the same, this planet is specifically used for the Smash Brothers tournament. But not all characters have their own worlds, as Rob lived on the Smash planet for several years as the leader of his own ancient civilization. It also says here that there are other civilizations, but it's not clear whether that is referring to the other fighters' worlds, or if there are legitimately other civilizations on that planet. Moving forward, it's said on the Smash Bros. Dojo website that the world of trophies is where they all fight, and that fighting is the sole reason for their existence. It's evident by the Smash 64 opening that they've been fighting ever since they were first brought to life. And this planet is where they were born. In the real world, the child likely pits his toys against each other a lot in his playtime. And in the world of trophies this manifests as a universal fighting tournament, of course held by Master Hand himself. Fighting is the sole reason for their existence because that's what created them. They're purely entertainment for the child, aka Master Hand. That's why they're his trophies. And he is their master. He is, in a way, playing with them, as the child does in reality. The tournament itself is not like a gladiator arena where they're pitted against each other against their will. As in the opening cutscene of the Subspace Emissary, it's a momentous occasion where all of the characters throughout the universe gather on the aforementioned planet to watch and participate in the fighting tournament in celebration. They genuinely enjoy fighting, and fighting is a form of respect in this universe, as well as bonding. It's basically their equivalent of the Olympics, with all of the modes like normal smash, home run contest, break the targets, etc. being the different quote-unquote games within this occasion. Classic mode, by its ending sequence in 64, is the final game within the tournament where a single fighter battles Master Hand himself. And by his trophy description, he chooses who that fighter is based on how many victories they have. Throughout the tournament he lies in wait on Final Destination, which is seemingly his domain. This tournament isn't constant, but held once every few years, same as in our reality, which is evident by the entire invitation system introduced in the Smash 4 reveal trailers. Not to mention the new properties that get introduced in each new game. The world of trophies runs at the exact same time as the real world. When the child obtains new games and by extension new toys of said games, that's when Master Hand in the Smash realm creates those worlds with said characters the same way he did with the original 12 fighters. Now let's get on to the inhabitants themselves. When not fighting, they return to their respective worlds, where they pretty much live out their video game lives. In this universe they're all self-aware that they're video game characters, and are aware that Smash itself is a video game. It's not like say Deadpool where they're literally aware of our reality, they're just aware of who they're based on. In fact they can physically see the video game mechanics, as Snake directly mentions the game over screens. And it's further shown in Bowser Jr.'s reveal trailer when Mario actually uses the shield. Despite this, that's also not to say that they're just actors in their own adventures like Wreck-It Ralph. As seen in the Subspace Emissary itself, they still carry the same personality traits, the same hardships, the same powers, skills, they've been through all of the same adventures, everything. This can also be seen with dialogue in both Codex and Palutena's Guidance, Rosalina's reveal trailer with Mario and Co having a casual Mario Kart race, Min's reveal trailer where they're having an arms tournament, etc. There's tons of examples. Because they're toys of their original counterparts, they're essentially clones of them. They're made to look, act, and be just like their original counterparts, just like a toy in real life. They're basically exactly like the characters in Night at the Museum. Wax statues who know their copies, but still carry everything from the original. It's also because of this that they don't carry the same power levels. Every fighter in this universe is essentially equal in raw power. It's only their abilities and skills that can make a difference in who wins a fight. That's why characters like Olimar are able to fight characters like Bayonetta and win. Defeating one another reverts them back to their trophy forms, and as said on the Smash Dojo website, this is akin to death. As being reverted back to a trophy is basically losing your life. That also brings up how exactly character deaths work in this universe. It's not clear whether or not characters like Hinawa and Aerith who died in their original games are actually dead in this universe. We do see for instance Lucas still alone and grieving over everything he's lost, but then his mother is a spirit. And to be a spirit would mean that they had to have been alive somewhere for their life essence to have even been taken. Gray Fox is also dead in Metal Gear Solid, yet he appears as an assist trophy. If I had to theorize I would say that it's likely just the characters and their own feelings. These three characters aren't actually dead per se, but the others associated with them still act like they are because that's who their characters are. But that's just my guess. Besides physical properties, all of the fighters also seem to have established some rules with each other. In Palutena's Guidance, as I've shown earlier, she mentions how it's never a good idea to meddle in the affairs of another world, implying they don't normally cross over into each other's worlds outside of Smash. But there may be exceptions to this, as Kirby did intentionally crash a Mario Kart race. And in the Smash Bros. Tournament there's even rules on what fighters can do, as the Ice Climbers were seemingly banned from Smash 4 for breaking the rules. Yes, I know this was likely just a double joke on how players would chain grab with them in Brawl and then they weren't suddenly absent in Smash 4. But considering they, well, weren't, in Smash 4, I would consider this the canon, in-universe explanation. With that I would finally like to delve into the villains of the Smash Bros. Series, and the child himself. This was a theory already discussed by Game Theory, but this is my own take on it in conjunction with everything else I have analyzed thus far. As I've said before, things that happen in reality physically manifest themselves in the Smash world. While Master Hand and Crazy Hand are physical manifestations of the child's creative and destructive personalities respectively, the villains are also manifestations of the child's different emotions. See, throughout the series we are actually following the child growing up. In Smash 64 we start out in a children's bedroom. By the markers and the books we can tell that he's old enough to read, but by the toy box and general room design, is still very young. Considering all of his toys are of video game characters, we know he loves video games, so he's probably 10 years old, which would fall in line for his next age. We can infer the canonical timeline of the Smash games by looking at the chronologically youngest video game that's in each installment. Albeit lowballing because of course we don't have the specifics. Smash 64 takes place in, at least, the year 1998 because of Ocarina of Time Link, whose game released that year. Next Melee takes place in 2002 thanks to Roy and Fire Emblem The Binding Blade, making the child 13. In Melee's trophy room, which is presumably the child's room, we can see a variety of Nintendo consoles, implying he's a serious gamer at this point. Brawl is in the year 2008, thanks to Metal Gear Solid 4, where the child is now 20 years old. This is where the aging begins to feel valid, as the child now has games like Metal Gear Solid, indicating he's getting older. Smash 4 then takes place in 2015, thanks to Fire Emblem Fates, where the child is now 28. Once again this is accurate as more mature games are introduced. And then finally, Ultimate takes place in 2021 with No More Heroes 3, making the child now 34. The fact that in-universe the Smash Bros. Tournament is still active suggests that the child, despite his age, is still playing with his toys, and even obtaining new ones. And this is where the villains of the Smash universe begin to manifest. Of course playing with toys as an adult is not a common practice and would likely be frowned upon by most of society. From this judgment, the child would begin to have his earliest stages of inner conflict. This is where he begins to feel like he should listen to society and stop playing with his toys. This is where Taboo is the first malevolent being to manifest in the Smash world, and we can infer this based off of his namesake and his goal. His name is Taboo because it reflects what is going on with the child in reality. It's taboo for an adult to play with toys. Taboo kidnaps and holds Master Hand back from interacting with his creations, manipulating him in order to bring everything into subspace, ergo, their destruction. Once he's free, he attempts to attack Taboo, and this represents the child not wanting to stop. Eventually Taboo is defeated, and this signifies the child choosing to continue to play with his toys. Next comes Smash 4 with the Master Core. Now many people don't know this and haven't cared to pay attention, but Master Core is actually directly related to Taboo. One thing people missed about their very similar attacks, is that they're in fact the exact same attack, aka the off waves. If you look closely, both flash the same symbols before initiating the off waves. It's not clear in what way Master Core is related to Taboo. He may in fact be Taboo himself reincarnated, considering he was the only one with the ability to use the off waves. But for now we just know that the two are directly connected to each other. In fact even more so, he is exactly like the Shada's enemy from Taboo's subspace army. Down to the design and the fact that both require they be defeated by their cores in the middle. Meaning Master Core is nothing but a large swarm of shadow bugs. And ergo, his fortress forms are extensions of subspace. Considering Master Core emerges from Master Hand, it's very likely that the source of his origin was during Master Hand's imprisonment in subspace. It's possible that during this time, Master Core was planted within Master Hand as a failsafe for Taboo should he be defeated. And come Smash 4 he would finally be ready to emerge, interrupting the fighters in their tournament during the Classic Mode game. Master Core represents the child's lingering feelings of the previous inner conflict from Brawl. He had suppressed his emotions and chose to play with his toys. But come Smash 4 these feelings came back to bite him. Once Master Core is defeated, that is him confronting his feelings and getting rid of them for good. Or so he thought. Now we get to Ultimate with Ga-Leem and Darkhan. These two have something more unique about them unlike Taboo and Master Core. Both of them are directly tied to Master Hand and Crazy Hand. Specifically they are evolved forms of the two hands. While Master Hand and Crazy Hand are represented as the child's hands. These two are the child's eyes. Let me explain. Both Ga-Leem and Master Hand are personifications of creation. Master Hand created the Smash world, and Ga-Leem's ultimate goal is to create a new world of light and order. Darkhan and Crazy Hand are both personifications of destruction. Darkhan's goal as shown by his alternate ending is to shroud the world in chaos and darkness, ultimately destroying it. Unlike Ga-Leem's ending where the fighters are simply engulfed in light, we see Mario fall in a manner similar to death. AKA, being destroyed. Ga-Leem is labeled as the Lord of Light, and some of Master Hand's attacks are forms of light. Comparatively, Darkhan is the Lord of Darkness, and a majority of Crazy Hand's attacks are forms of darkness. Both Master Hand and Ga-Leem are depicted as calm and orderly, while Crazy Hand and Darkhan are erratic and dysfunctional. Not only that, but both Darkhan and Crazy Hand emerge in the same way. It's said in his trophy description that he emerges once Master Hand's power begins to ebb. And Darkhan does in fact emerge once Ga-Leem is weakened. Hell, during the final battle, you battle the two of them on Final Destination. In fact these two are the most powerful enemies the fighters have ever faced. Both have the power to easily alter and or destroy the entire universe unlike Taboo and Master Core, and no other being has that kind of power but Master Hand and Crazy Hand, as Master Hand is literally the creator of the world of trophies. If these similarities aren't striking then I don't know what is. The two of them taking control of each of the hand is just icing on the cake. So after all of this, I concluded that both Ga-Leem and Darkhan are avatars of the child's adulthood. Master Hand and Crazy Hand were manifested during the child's childhood and adolescence respectively. They are representative of the emotions from those time periods, when playing with toys were still normal. Meanwhile Ga-Leem and Darkhan are essentially the Master Hand and Crazy Hand of his adult era. Ga-Leem is the child simply wanting to lock away his childhood and move on as an adult. Meanwhile Darkhan is the child wanting to destroy his childhood completely and go into adulthood head on. These are once again the conflicting feelings of the child as he has now entered full adulthood, which is why the two are at odds with each other. The child can't decide what to do with his toys. When the two are eventually defeated, this represents the child attaining pure freedom and once again continuing to play with his toys no matter how old he gets. At least until the next Smash game when there's another new villain. And with that concludes my full analysis of the Super Smash Bros. Universe. At first glance it really seems like a simple fun party game with your favorite video game characters. But as it would turn out, it has a much deeper lore at heart, and a very interesting world. Now of course at the end of the day a lot of this, regarding analysis on the Smash world itself, is simply educated guesses based off of what information we have. Maybe revealed trailers aren't canon, maybe Gray Fox and others being alive is just an in-game mechanic. Maybe the guidance and codex are only in-game character talk and mean nothing for the larger world of Smash. Who knows? It would be nice if Sakurai delved more on the Smash lore beyond just the toy aspect. But alas, this is all that we have to go off of so far. Either way I think it's all a really neat concept. Even if it's not entirely true. The Smash Bros. World for me will always be such a fun place to explore.